A schema is a mental framework or script that we use to understand and interpret the world. They include our expectations regarding objects, ideas, people, and situations. For example, we all have schemas or expectations about how classrooms and fast food restaurants look, how they operate, what you're supposed to do when you go to them, etc. So these schemas are what allows you to walk into a new classroom for the very first time and know what to do. For example, as a student, you know to go and sit at one of the desks and not to sit up front at the podium. You also know that the other people sitting at the desks similar to you are fellow students and not the instructor. We also have schemas about how fast food restaurants work, and this allows you to know what to expect even at a restaurant that you have never been to before. So for instance, your schema about a fast food restaurant tells you to stand in line, that you're going to order at the counter, you're going to pay before receiving your food, you expect your food to come in disposable containers, etc. The concept of a schema may actually be easier to understand if we think of the times when our schemas actually don't work in a given situation. So often our schemas are so automatic that we don't even recognize that we have them until they are violated. Going back to our restaurant example, you have a schema for how a fast food restaurant works, and you have a schema for how a casual dining restaurant works. But sometimes you go to a restaurant for the first time that doesn't quite fit neatly into either one of these schemas. And when that happens, you often then really notice that you did have these schemas. So try to remember the first time you went to a restaurant like McAllister's, Jason's Deli, Panera, something like that. It was probably somewhat of a confusing experience at first. You may not have been quite sure what to do, what to expect, and the reason for this is these restaurants don't exactly fit a fast food schema or a casual dining schema. So, for instance, in these types of restaurants, when you walk in, it first looks like a fast food restaurant. You line up, you order at the counter, you pay for your food before receiving it, similar to your fast food restaurant. So here, your fast food restaurant script has probably kicked in. You think you know what you're going to do until all of a sudden things start to get weird. At this point, your fast food schema tells you that the employees should hand you your food, but they don't. Now you aren't really sure what to do. You might start looking around at other customers to see, well, what did they do? You might end up having to ask the person beside you, whatever. Well, here, what you actually do is you go and sit down and wait for your food. And then not even that, but your food often then comes on real plates. You receive real silverware. So this more fits the casual dining script. So now maybe that one kicks in. Again, things start to get weird once you're done eating. So now at this point you've had some aspects of your experience fit with your fast food schema, while other aspects have fit with your casual dining schema. So now that you're at the end of your meal, which one do you go with? Do you leave a tip like your casual dining schema would tell you to do? Do you clear the table like you would at the fast food restaurant? And if so, if you are supposed to clear the table, how do you do it? Your plates aren't disposable, you don't throw it away, so where do you put them? So if you've ever kind of been in one of these restaurants, you might have had this kind of confusion at the end. You probably, again, looked around to see, well, what did other people do? Did they leave their plates on the table? What have you. So it's during times like this when our schemas are violated that it's actually easier to see that we even had schemas operating in the first place. So hopefully that helps for you to understand what schemas are, how they work,